everyone, my name is Paul Third, and for anybody that doesn't know, I am on the autism spectrum. I was diagnosed at 25, and part of my diagnosis is Asperger's, which means that I can struggle a lot with social cues, which obviously, as you can imagine, like trying to like have a career in audio means, working with clients, and working with clients has been something that has filled me with anxiety over the years because, obviously, it's a service industry and you've got to keep your clients happy. And, keeping your clients happy means not pissing them off. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to kind of tell you a few of the things that I have been kind of advised or kind of just been told by a lot of my mentors and by many people in the industry. Some of this has been stolen from the the Working Audio Tools podcast interviews that me and Ed Thorne have done. I'm going to try and kind of do a brief summary of the stuff I've been told to maybe kind of help you if you're on the same boat as me, or, you're just wondering, right, how do I need to act when working with clients, and, how not to piss people off in the industry if you're trying to have a career. Right, so the first thing that I was told by many people, and this is very, 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 very common, many people have told me, Paul, whatever you do not badmouth other people in front of your clients. And especially don't badmouth your clients. If you're going to badmouth your clients, then make sure that, they're engineers that you really, really, really do trust. But this kind of comes more into, artists that have, like recorded with engineers or worked with certain producers. Or again, if you're a mastering engineer and they've worked with, a certain mix engineer, it's just not very professional to badmouth the person that's came before you. As much as, there might be times that you kind of sit back and you're like,
fucking hell, this recording is rough as shit.
Or, oh, this arrangement's terrible. Or, oh my God, this rough is horrible. Why did they make those decisions? Or you may be a mastering engineer that's like,
oh my God, this is terrible. Like, this is a horrible mix. This needs remixed. It's a shit mixer.
There are tactful ways of doing it. And, Nicholas De Lorenzo, in the podcast episode I had with him, he talked about very tactful ways of dealing, with problems that may arise, or like, when you have certain opinions on, the material that you're working with. And that kind of brings me to the next thing, which is probably one of the biggest ways not to piss off your artists and producers, is, to respect the rough and to respect the artist's decisions. I've made a big F up. I totally screwed up in one of the mixes that I did, was it last year or this year? I think it was before I went to NAMM this year, and I mixed a song for a client, and he came to me because he liked the sound of the mixes that I'd done, and he gave me like a ton of references, and they were basically like all Clint Gibbs mixes. I hear the sound that you're wanting to go for, kind of sounds nothing like the rough that you've got. So I decided to kind of, do my own thing and listen to these kind of 3-4 records that he sent me, and kind of, like take like the kick level and the kick sound and the snare sound from there, and the way that they had like the vocals or like the guitars like level and panned, and kind of did a hodgepodge of like all of the references. And the very first thing he said to me on the first mix was, Paul, did you even listen to the rough? And I was quite taken aback because, I was naive, but the issue that I had at the time was that I was mixing for another client who wanted me to give him like a completely like fresh start. He basically just wanted, to have a different opinion on it and, have a different slant on his songs. And I kind of like was able to like basically take all the tracks and just kind of mix and produce the songs the way I think, that I would like to hear them, so he could have like another perspective. And that worked for him. But what I found, to my detriment, that these artists are very, very, very few and far between. And nearly everybody I spoke to in the industry told me,
Paul, we've all done it, but you've learned the lesson early. And it's good to learn it early because you need to understand the importance of the rough.
The rough is really, really important because, that artist could have sat with that record and those decisions that they've made for like 6 months to a year before they've even came to you. That artist that I was working with, I'm pretty sure they released that song and they produced it, recorded it and mixed it themselves. I think it was like 2 years old maybe. So like they'd sat with that song for years. So me just kind of going in and being like,
Yeah, just change that and change this and change this and change that.
basically what he wanted me to do is he just wanted me to make his rough better and kind of have the kind of sheen and polish of Clint Gibbs. But I realised I wasn't Clint Gibbs very, very, very early. And, I learned a lesson that all I should have done was just respected the rough, stayed very close to his rough, and just mixed the rough to the point where, I could hear certain issues and fix them and, kind of make it sound as good as physically possible. So respecting the rough and respecting your client's decisions is, an easy way not to piss them off. And I'd probably say the last thing that I've been told, and I picked this up really well from Joe Carroll. We did an interview with Joe Carroll on the Working Audio Tools. And he basically was talking about his career, and he basically said, you just got to be a good hang. Just a good hang. That's all you got to be, is a good hang. Sounds way better than his southern accent. But, Joe was talking about, just how he made a career on getting on well with his clients and having a laugh, but, knowing when there's a time to be serious and when there's a time to lighten the mood. And as much as that might not really fit, many guys that, are mixing globally and receiving, songs from around the globe, and they'll probably never sit with their client. There might be times where, you have to do a Zoom call, or you need to have a chat with your client, and, how you come off could really, really pave the way for getting more work. I mean, obviously you've got to be good at your craft. That's a given, right? You need to be a good mixer. But, if you're a dick and you're arrogant and, you make your artist feel like a piece of shit, and, you make them feel that you're better than them and you know better than they're beneath you, then, they're not going to want to work with you. I'm quite fortunate that I don't like confrontation. So I'm quite an easygoing guy. I don't like fighting with people. As much as my online persona might be like,
fuck SSL, don't use analog, fuck everybody, fuck plugin developers.
in regards to when I'm actually meeting people in person, I would like to think I'm a good hang, and I'm a good laugh. As much as you might get on with your artist, if you're good to them, but you're a dick about their producer, that producer is going to be like, what an arsehole. And what you might not realise is that producer or that recording engineer may be somebody that gives you work in the future. I found that, when I went to LA, that networking is key in this industry. And the only way you're going to network and, get people wanting to work with you is if you're not a dick and you're respectful towards them, and they know that you'll respect, their work and them, and it helps if you can get on with them. And the last thing is probably and this is important, is be consistent. If you say to a client that, this is how long it's going to take, then make sure you do the deadline, because nobody likes to work with people that's going to delay, the conveyor belt of their album. You know what I mean? We work on this song, the next song, because again, it can go from I've got this budget and I went to the recording engineer and I need to have that recorded there. Then it goes on to the producer and he has a time schedule. And then again, the mixer's got a time schedule, and then the mastering engineer's got a schedule. You know what I mean? And all of these kind of parts of the chain normally have a schedule of some sort, especially the higher you up you get in the industry. So, being consistent and, having good timekeeping and just keeping your promises is really important. I was mixing an album for a client and I finished it a wee while ago. And, I was really worried that I took too long on it, even though the artist was so cool. And he was like, Paul, when you get it done, you get it done. You know what I mean? I'm really I know you've got the studio going on and you work full time, and yeah, I gave him a good price, and, I think I did take a little bit too long as I would have liked. But at the end of the day, it's done and we got the album done. But I did feel that, I was pretty unrealistic at certain points, because there were certain times where I thought, no, I'll get these 2 songs done by next week. And then I'll move on to them 2. But then I only got 1 done. And then I'd be like, oh, sorry, I didn't get that done. I'll get that done. And you can kind of create all of these future problems for yourself, where sometimes you just kind of got to be realistic and honest and be like, right, okay, do you have a schedule for this to be done? Yes, that's when I need it to be done for. You need to make sure that it gets done by hook or crook. You need to make sure it gets done. But if the client sees you, then at least try and be like, right, is there a max? Like, is there like a date for you that you're like, no, it cannot go any more than that. Like, I'm willing to wait 3 weeks, but I'm not willing to wait 4 weeks. You know what I mean? It's like, try and like communicate with your clients. And again, communication. As you can see, I've not planned this. I've not planned this video. Like, I was working. I've still got my work stuff on, and I just knew I was making this video, and it's all off the top of my head. It's all stuff I've been told over the years. So I'm sorry that I'm so shambolic. Normally, when like I work with people, I just stick to the music. I just stick to what I won't speak about politics. I won't speak about anything else bar music. And I think that it works for me a lot of the time, because it means I don't need to worry about, you know, pissing them off about certain things that I've said. And remember, this is a service industry, and as much as, you know, it is great to get on and have a laugh, it is a service industry, and they are paying you. So there always has to be a level of professionalism. And if this video is anything to go by, as you can see, I don't plan my shit very well. So yes, as you can see, I have a lot of learning to do, and I still have a lot of questions to ask all of my mentors in the industry. But hopefully this hodgepodge video has helped you in some way or form. If you've got any tips or, you know, experiences that you can help others that are new to the industry like me, then again, comment down below. But yeah, I don't know if this is going to help you. You know what I'm like. I just go from the top bin. My name's Paul Third, and I will see you whenever I see you.